Imagine you come back with more food than you can eat tonight. Across the camp, someone else came back with nothing. The obvious answer seems simple. Keep your food. Tomorrow might be your bad day. But picture 2 days. Today you pass part of a full basket to someone empty-handed. Tomorrow their full basket may move toward you. That is an illustration, not a witnessed ancient scene. But it creates a hard question. Why give away something you may need yourself? The strange possibility is this. When returns were uneven, passing food across a group might have made a bad day less dangerous. With the picture we usually carry around, one person hunts, one person finds food, one person eats it. Survival is a private scorecard. That picture feels logical. You did the work, you found the food, you brought it home. For ancient groups, food returns may not have been smooth. Some days might go well, some days might not. Trip can end with useful food, little food, or nothing. The problem is not only how much food exists, it is when it shows up and who gets it. Now imagine that unevenness happening again and again. On your good day, another adult is empty-handed. On their good day, you are the empty-handed one. That is the first twist. Food sharing may be about making a group less exposed to a run of bad luck. Researchers call one version of this idea risk buffering. The plain version is easier. A group can spread the shock when one person's return fails. That does not mean the group has unlimited food. It does not mean every person gets the same share. It means a good return can sometimes travel beyond the person who found it, and that changes what a bad day feels like. But before we turn that into a prehistoric fact, we need to separate 3 very different kinds of evidence. First, archaeology. At Kagera South in Kenya, researchers have found stone artifacts and butchered animal remains from around 2 million years ago. They show repeated access to and processing of animal resources. Another study found that people selected and carried non-local stone into the area. That matters because it shows material movement into the site area, but it does not show a meal being divided. It does not show a camp dinner. It does not show who received food, and it does not tell us why anyone would share. That limit is important. Archaeology leaves objects and marks. It does not leave a label saying who helped whom after a bad day. So Kagera is not proof that early humans shared every hunt. It is the setting, not the full story. The next clue comes from people studied much more recently. Anthropologists have documented food sharing among Hadza and Ach communities. These are real, named populations. They are not windows straight into the Pleistocene. Still, they show something useful. Food sharing can be patterned. It can depend on the kind of food, the relationship between people, who is nearby, and what a group expects. Sometimes a person with a big return gives food away. Sometimes people ask for it. Across food sharing research, researchers propose several explanations: kinship, need, reciprocity, demand sharing, signaling, status, and risk buffering. So there is no single ancient human button labeled share. That ruins a tidy story. But it gives us a better one. Sharing can solve more than one problem at once. If food is hard to predict, a transfer might soften the downside of an empty day. If a group is full of relatives, helping kin may matter. If other people can watch you, generosity may affect status. If someone can demand food in a small group, giving may not be purely voluntary. And if you need people later, a meal can become part of a relationship. These explanations can overlap. They can also compete. That is why the claim has to stay modest. Food sharing could help a group handle uneven returns. It was not necessarily a universal rule, and it was not necessarily the only reason anyone did it. Now return to the empty-handed person. Suppose one adult comes back with roots, nuts, or a large piece of food. Another comes back with almost nothing. If the first person keeps everything, their own good day stays good. But the other person's bad day stays bad. If some food moves across the group, the result could be different. Nobody has created food. Nobody has defeated hunger forever. But the worst outcome may be smaller. And next time the returns reverse, the direction of help can reverse too. That is the risk buffering picture. It is not a moral fairy tale. It is more like a rough human insurance system, except there are no contracts and no guarantee that it works fairly. There may be pressure, there may be obligation, there may be arguments, there may be people who get more help than others. With uneven returns, fully private food could be risky for people who need the same group tomorrow. Models of human evolution explore versions of this problem. They ask how food production, sharing, cooperation, and dependence might fit together over time. Models are useful because they let researchers test possibilities. But a model is not a witness. It can show that an arrangement could work under certain conditions. It cannot show us one exact prehistoric conversation or prove one motive for every ancient group. That is why this topic is harder than it first appears. The evidence does not give us a warm scene where everyone smiles around a fire. It gives us a more useful puzzle. People had resources. They moved materials. Later communities show varied ways of sharing. Researchers debate why sharing happens, and uneven returns make one explanation feel plausible. The explanation is not, ancient humans survived because they were generous. It is smaller than that. Sharing could make an unlucky day less dangerous for the group. So a basket of food could carry more than calories in this hypothesis. It could carry a reminder, today I have more, tomorrow I might not. That does not make ancient people modern roommates with a shared fridge. It means the modern feeling of uneven luck has a deep human logic. One person gets the good shift, one person gets the broken car, one person has time, one person needs help. We still build relationships around problems that do not arrive evenly. The ancient version was probably harsher, messier, and much less private, but the basic question remains familiar. What do you do when the person beside you is having the bad day you may have tomorrow? The best evidence does not let us say that food sharing was one universal invention that saved humanity. It does show that sharing is a varied practice in documented forager societies. Risk buffering is one proposed explanation for why transfers can matter when returns are uneven. For ancient humans, archaeology gives us the resource world. Comparison and theory help us ask the next question carefully. Could sharing food help people survive? Under the right conditions, it could help make bad days less catastrophic. Not magic, not proof of perfect equality, not a guarantee. But maybe a reason a full basket could move beyond the person who found it. That is the old brain idea here. Sometimes the smartest use of a good day is preparing for the day when it belongs to somebody else. Next, we can ask an even stranger question. Why did human babies need more than 2 adults to survive?